Hello students, welcome to today's class. This week we're going to be looking at self-reliance. First of all, let us get to know the meaning of self-reliance. Self-reliance is the ability of an individual to take decision or do things by oneself without depending on the help or advice of other people. Self-reliance can also be referred to as self-sufficiency. To be self-reliant, one needs to utilize the skills, talents, and abilities which one has to accomplish or achieve success in life. This is very important because I have observed that some of us cannot do most of the things, even in school, because we need assistance either from our friends or from our mom or dad. Most of the time our mom and dad are not here for us now, so we're in school alone. Most of the time we now start depending on our friends. So when those of our friends are not around, or when they are not around, we see ourselves in a situation where we cannot really do much. So to become self-reliance means to start having confidence in yourself, to start believing in yourself, to start understanding that you alone, you can do some certain things, and God has actually created you with everything needed to succeed in life. If only you can look inward, look into the strength that you have within, and then you start seeing yourself being able to do a lot of things. We will now basically look at the attributes of self-reliance. One of such attributes of self-reliance refers to the qualities or features. This actually refers to the qualities or features. Now, self-awareness. First of all, you must get to understand yourself. The you in you. You must get to know who you are. Who am I? You must understand who you are. Until you start understanding who you are, you cannot gain confidence over yourself. You cannot understand some certain things that you can do by yourself. So you must understand this, because it's very, very important. Before an individual can be self-reliant, the individual needs to identify one's skills, talent, and strength. You must know what you have. Is it your hand? Are you good with your hand? Are you talented in singing? Can you do some certain things that you have been taking notice of, that this thing I believe is a talent in me? Do you have strength in some certain area? Can you talk? Can you encourage people? Can you write some motivational quotes? Can you write poem? What is that you can do? Can you write? Are you a good writer? All these things are things you must begin to ask yourself. And the more you begin to ask yourself, the more you get to understand that you have these things, the more you start gaining confidence over yourself. And that is actually what is known as self-awareness. You are getting to understand who you are. You are getting to know actually for the purpose you were created and why you are here. Another thing is good planning. You must have some certain things laid out or set out to achieve in life. It is when you begin to do all these things, begin to focus on them, begin to want to achieve them, that you start getting to understand some certain things about yourself. Because the more you do something, the better you become. To be self-reliant, it is not only to be aware of one's skills or talent, but also to have a very good planning on how to have proper implementation of plans. So you must understand that, okay, I am good at doing this. For example, let's assume you are good at singing. I've identified that you are good at singing. So what are your plans to improve yourself? What are your plans to start writing music? What are your plans to ensure that you are having an album very soon? And what are your plans to ensure that you are going to the studio to start doing your music, to start ensuring that the master work of that music is already being done? And gradually, even before you graduate from the school, you would have released an album. So you must get to understand that I have this thing, and also you must begin to put plan in place to achieve those things. Another thing we're going to be looking at is hard work. You must be a person who is committed and who is ready to deliver. An individual, community, or a nation, we need to work hard. Hard work is a virtue that an individual should embrace. Hard work trains you to be ready for the future. Most of the time, we don't even know what is ahead of us. We don't know what is waiting for us. until we start putting ourselves to some certain tasks. It might not be easy at first, it might not be easy doing it, but the more you keep on doing it, the more you train yourself and the more you discipline yourself to do it, you start seeing it becoming easy. And by then you yourself start gaining control over some certain things about your life. Another thing we'll look at now is passion. For one to be self-reliant, he or she must be passionate about whatsoever he does. What is passion? Passion is actually the strength you derive from doing something because of the love you have for that thing. Instead of losing strength or being exhausted while you are doing that thing, you discover that you even have more strength. The interest to do it is even there. You enjoy it and you want to do more. That is what passion is all about. And passion is actually driven towards that thing you have found love to do. That is why it is very important for you to understand what actually do you want to do and what actually do you love to do. You must identify it and begin to face it, because what you love to do, you will develop passion for. Then another thing we must look at is the ability to bear risk. An individual who wants to be self-reliant must be able to bear risk. It is only those that bear risk that overcome the challenges of life. You must be ready to do some certain things called risk. A wise person once said that it's even a risk not to take risk. It means when you are not even ready to take risk, you've taken a risk not to take risk. So it is important to take risk in life to achieve some certain things. Another thing is training. You must begin to train yourself. If you've discovered that you can do this thing and you know that you need to do it better, then you begin to put in hard work. You begin to train yourself to be better at that thing so that you can become a professional in it. That's why vocational or academic training are some of the ways one can be self-reliant. You must begin to train yourself either in the area of skills, in the area of mind. You must mentally train yourself so that you will be productive. For example, like I earlier made an example of someone who wants to be a musician. Haven't gotten the skill, you must train yourself mentally, because it is the mental training you've given yourself that will enhance your lyrics. You can begin to write intelligently as a musician and also begin to sing intelligently simply because you have developed your mind, and your mind is ready to put even a line into a super presentation that when people hear you sing, they want to hear more of it. Another thing we also must look at is the identification of opportunities. In order to be self-reliant, every individual must be able to make good use of every opportunity around his or her environment. You must understand opportunity. Opportunity often in time are always available. It is just that we are the ones who are not available to feeling such opportunity. So you must understand, and then you must begin to start putting yourself to take advantage of every opportunity that present themselves before you. Another thing we'll also be looking at is the process of identifying, nurturing, and perfection of talent and skills. Talent refers to the special or natural capacity to do something well, while skills, on the other hand, is also the ability to do something well. However, skills is required through training and experience. Both skills and talent need to be identified, nurtured, and perfected through the following processes. One of such process is formal education. It is very important that you train yourself, like we were saying just now. It is very, very important that you go to school. It is very, very important that you train your mind, because the mind actually is the headquarters of life. That is why you must ensure that formal education is taken seriously. Irrespective of the talent or skills that you have in life, you cannot do well if you don't have proper mental development, because your mind enables you to refine whatsoever you have into a gold. Because actually everybody have a gold. Some people go about looking for gold. They look for a gold mine. They want to mine one, and then they forget that their mind can be their gold. Anything you take time to develop can become your gold. Another thing is workshop and seminar. You must take advantage of such things. Whenever you get to know that there will be a workshop or seminar regarding what you know to teach more, you must attend. You must ensure you are there to learn more, because learning actually is the only way you can succeed in anything you do, in any skills or talent you've gotten. If you are ready to keep learning and keep developing it, you will be better than anyone who is in that field with you. Another thing is role model. You must have someone that is your role model, that you look up to, that you are also wanting to be like. The person becomes the reason you are running, and the more you look at the person, the more you want to run. Another thing is finance. Finance is also very important, because there are some of all this training you will need money to register for. Another thing is apprenticeship. You must register somewhere to learn something. If you understand that this person have this thing and you need it, you must learn under that person. You must let the person become your tutor, and you must take time to ensure that you learn that thing well, so that when you are now on your own, or a master of your own, you will do it better than anyone. Another thing we're going to be looking at is benefit of self-reliance to individual, family, and the society. A lot can be said, and when we keep talking, you will get to understand that yes, to be self-reliant can be of benefit to a whole lot of people. The first we're going to be looking at that it enables one to become independent. It enables a particular person to become independent. You will not even have any reason to depend on anyone. You will not even have any reason to be looking up to someone financially, because what you have is already giving you enough money to take care of yourself and even your family members. It helps an individual to discover and develop his or her talent. It helps you to discover, to know you have it, and then the next thing you do to develop it, to ensure it becomes something that you will be very proud of doing. It helps the family to be self-sufficient to have as much as possible at their own reach. It helps the family to have all of this. It also enriches the family. It brings wealth. It makes a lot of people to become very wealthy. For example, Emanuela, who is a comedian, you see a lot that young girl have done for herself. With the skill that she has, and she has nurtured it, that has grown in her, and today she's now able to afford to build a house for the mom. So all of this has a kind of brought a lot of benefits to the family. It helps to create employment for the people in the society. Self-reliance makes the society to be independent. It makes the society to become independent, that you will not even have any reason to depend on international countries, because every citizen in that country, they are up and doing, and they are doing well in whatsoever they do. Another thing we're going to be looking at is self-reliance person is always respected and honored. It helps an individual to take decisions and do things without help of other people. It helps the family to survive and continue to live or exist. It helps to discover and develop talent and skills within such family. It also helps to boost or develop the economy of the society. All of these things are what you stand to benefit when you develop your skills and talent. We'll look at the consequences of undiscovered talent and undeveloped skills. Undiscovered and undeveloped skills and talent have some negative effect on the individual, family, and the society at large. Some of these effects are: undiscovered and undeveloped talent and skills make individual, families, and the society poor. An individual, family, or society that fails to discover and develop his or her talent may not live a very fulfilled life. An individual who fails to develop or discover his or her talent may not be able to contribute meaningfully to the development of his or her society. Undiscovered or undeveloped talent and skills may make one to depend on others for survival. Undiscovered or undeveloped skills and talent may lead to underdevelopment in the society. Any person who fails to discover and develop his or her skills and talent, the person will not be self-sufficient and as such, he or she will depend on others for survival. We will now look at conclusion. Self-reliance, as we have earlier said, is the ability of an individual to take decisions or do things by oneself without depending on the help or survival of other people. We have looked at the attribute which is also listed down there. Another key thing I want you to take note of is that when you refuse to discover or develop the talent that God has given you, you might have some certain consequences, some certain things to suffer. If that actually is what you actually would have done, that would have, help you in some ways, you discover that you start suffering when you would have been helping yourself. For example, like we made a mention of Emanuela, who is a comedian, a young girl who started making comedy, making people to laugh. Today she can afford to build a house for her mom. Imagine she didn't do that. Imagine she didn't develop her talent and her skills. She wouldn't have been able to do all of that, and the mom or dad would have still be staying in rent. So you can see a lot that she can do for her family simply because she developed her talent and her skills, and that is now giving money to the family. This is all we can take for today. We'll continue from this place in our next class. See you in our next class. Thank you.